ALF, what are you doing? I didn't tell you. I didn't say you could build a cake. I didn't say you could make yourself a cake. What are the decorations? What is this? Now you left the oven on. You're not supposed to leave it. You know, I've seen a lot of sad crap in my life. If it's sad, name it and I've seen it. Marley and Me, The Snowman, Toy Story 3, Plague Dogs, Super Size Me. And you know what? I didn't cry with those. My throat got a little tight, but not one tear was ejected from this eyeball. So now you must be dying to know, Renee, what will make you cry? Well, you want to know? All right, come closer. Come closer, come on. Just a little closer. ALF's Christmas special, to be more exact, but let's take a step back and look at the series. ALF is a sitcom that started in 1986, and it starred your favorite animatronic alien. Nope, not him. I'm talking about Mr. Gordon Shumway, aka ALF, from the planet Melmac. ALF's planet explodes, so he escapes in his ship and crashes in Willie Tanner's garage. For the rest of the series, he continues to live with the Tanners and annoys them to hell as he makes audiences laugh. If you can't tell from previous videos I've made, I have an odd obsession with this show and any puppet-based characters, for a matter of fact. There are shows like The Muppets, Dinosaurs, Between the Lions, and ALF that I watched on a consistent basis as a child, and even now that I'm a bit older. There are also movies like E.T., Gremlins, and the first Ninja Turtles that always stuck with me. When I was little, I thought all these characters were real, and as I grew up, I started learning more about filmmaking. I realized that in some way they were real. They were actual puppets or animatronics. They interacted with the actors, they talked to the people on set, they were real. Not trying to go too off topic here, but it's a bit upsetting how the art of puppetry and animatronics is extremely underrated nowadays. Take a movie like Paul with Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. You watch that film and you know for certain that that alien is not actually interacting with the two actors. It's a motion capture Seth Rogen, but Paul is completely CG. When I watch this, I don't feel like Paul is interacting in that environment. He feels like an animation, which I'm sure some people don't mind, but the point is, animatronic creatures were getting really good with films like Pumpkinhead, Little Shop of Horrors, Gremlins, and Jurassic Park, but Hollywood pulled a plug on it way too early when they realized CG could make things easier. I know I went a little off topic there, but it's just something I needed to get off my chest. Maybe later on I'll make a video dedicated to the subject, but for now let's get back on track and talk about ALF. This is one of my favorite 80s sitcoms right next to Family Ties. It's not a perfect series, there are definitely some episodes that aren't that great, especially in season 3 and 4, but if I ever needed an alien friend, I knew the DVDs would always be there for me. Anyways, there's only one special in the entire series, and that's ALF's Special Christmas. Obviously, I was excited when I found out this existed. A 1-hour ALF Christmas special? That's everything I want from life. I get to see ALF step out of the Tanner house and see him interact with new people in new places. This seems like it's going to be the best Christmas ever. But if only I knew that by the end of the episode, I'd be feeling like this. Like I mentioned earlier, what I like about the special is the fact that we step out of the Tanner's house. In an interview, Paul Fusco, creator of ALF, said that this was the first time they decided to step out from the ordinary 3-camera sitcom setup. The entire episode was shot on a single camera and on film instead of digital. They also used actual locations instead of building a set. This gave ALF fans a nice change of pace since there's only so much you can have ALF do in a house. Seeing him step out to new places was interesting. Here, he's mistaken for a Christmas toy and given to a little girl named Tiffany, who's based off a real person, but we'll get to that later. This special reminds me of another ALF episode titled We're So Sorry Uncle Albert, in which ALF causes Uncle Albert to have a heart attack and die. The rest of that episode focuses on dealing with death and making amends before leaving. This Christmas special also deals with death and the fears that come with it. At one point, ALF discovers that Tiffany does not have much longer to live, making that her last Christmas.
What are you supposed to say to a little girl who's not gonna see another Christmas?
This makes ALF go back and have a talk to her. He reassures her that it's okay to be afraid of death and stays with her until she falls asleep. It's at this point in the special where it can be hard not to shed a tear. Pa Fusco has said that this entire situation was based off a real-life incident he encountered. You see, Fusco was very involved with the Make-A-Wish Foundation, since many children would write to ALF asking them if they could talk. One day, Fusco received a letter from a girl named Tiffany Leigh Smith, who was suffering from leukemia, and wanted to have a face-to-face conversation with ALF himself. They arranged a video conference setup between Tiffany and ALF, so Tiffany got her wish. Fusco had a very strict rule in which he would never break character in front of any kids, because as he said, these kids wanted to believe. It was magic to them. After Fusco's conversation with Tiffany, the writers and creators of the show decided they wanted to make a special that dealt with a serious issue. In the end, the episode deals with themes of death, including a little girl's fear of dying and a suicidal Santa Claus who had just lost his wife. Since the script was incredibly dark, producers urged Fusco to add in a more lighthearted sequence, and that ended up being the part when ALF helps deliver the baby. While rewatching it, I can definitely feel that this was pretty tacked on, but I think it helps the episode take a breather. Fusco was very against the idea of putting ALF in a doctor's suit, but has said that it was a way for the audience to forgive him after that heartbreaking scene with Tiffany. To me, I think this special did a really great job at balancing all these different emotions they were trying to evoke. The scenes that were supposed to make me sad made me sad, and the scenes that were supposed to be funny helped keep the episode from being too depressing. All the acting was pretty good, especially from the actress that played Tiffany, Carrie Houlihan. Oddly enough, I've seen this episode be called the worst ALF episode and the best ALF episode. Personally, I can't see how any ALF fan would find this to be the worst episode of the series. I would actually put this up there with the top 5 best episodes. There were definitely a lot of worse towards the end of the show's run. Anyways, I love this special. I could nitpick about super small things that I wasn't a big fan of, but at the end of the day, the filmmakers did their job. They were successful in making me feel stuff. Plus, it has a wonderful message about Christmas and life overall. It's nothing unique or special, it's just done in a really heartwarming way. Oh, and that last shot of Tiffany waving goodbye to ALF, that always gets me. I'm going to give ALF Special Christmas 9.2 out of 10 Santa ALFs. You know, I'd put this Christmas special up there with those snowman animated films. But either way, I hope you all enjoyed today's video. Let me know in the comments below if you've ever seen this Christmas special and what you think about it. And if you've never seen it, I highly recommend that you do this year. Until next time, keep watching the skies.